Welcome, members. This is the first meeting of the Subcommittee on HOCA. So item number 1 on the agenda is election of chairman and deputy chairman. Do we need to have another round of election for chairman and deputy chairman? It's up to you members. We should just continue. All right, Mr. Alan Leung, are you going to run for it? Well, if members agree that we don't need an election, then I would be chairman and Mr. Alan Leung deputy chairman. Okay. So we have saved a lot of time on item 1. Second item, the way forward. We have only convened 2 meetings so far. Let me brief you on what has happened. At the meetings held on the 15th of April and the 16th of June 2014, members requested the government to come up with a broad policy framework on the long-term development on revitalization of the hawking trade. And we have also proposed some suggestions, concrete suggestions on the long-term development of the hawker policy for the administration's consideration. And on the 9th of July, chairman and deputy chairman of the subcommittee had a meeting with the Secretary for Food and Health and the Deputy Commissioner on Tourism to discuss the way forward. At that meeting, the Secretary proposed a closed-door brainstorming session so that the members can express their views and make suggestions on the long-term policy on hawkers. And the opportunity can also be taken to exchange ideas with the administration. The chairman and the deputy chairman agreed to that proposal. The brainstorming session was scheduled for the 6th of October 2014. Apart from members and officials from the administration, we also invited 2 academics to attend the meeting, but the meeting was delayed by the Occupy Central movement. The administration has agreed that members can the administration has agreed that after the brainstorming session, which is yet to be held, draw reference from the countries such as Australia, Singapore, Taiwan, and Thailand in regard to the hawker policies, and to see if such experience can be applied in Hong Kong, then also to provide written response to the subcommittee on the possible difficulties that we may encounter here in Hong Kong. So members, your views on whether we should organize the brainstorming session, and also whether we should invite those parties to discuss the way forward. Chairman, I think we should convene the brainstorming session because last time Dr. Ko Wing Man was enthusiastic about the brainstorming session, and he said that we need to have some ideas, generate some ideas. I also want to thank the Secretariat. On the 6th of October, we were supposed to have the session. The Secretariat had worked very hard. The PowerPoint presentation was well prepared. But from what I've heard from our clerk, Ms. Yao, this is something new for LegCo. We haven't had any brainstorming sessions so far. And the Secretary has promised to come personally so that we can all put our heads together to come up with new ideas. And the 2 academics are also going to be involved. So this is really good. I hope we can select another date for the brainstorming session and proceed further on the basis. well, I have to say something before I give the floor to Mr. Wong Kok Heng. Well, I agree with the Deputy Chairman. On the 6th of October, it was actually possible to have the session convened, but even that was just the start of the OCM, Occupy Central Movement, so members wouldn't be able to concentrate on our meeting. Mr. Wong Kok Heng, I agree that we should convene the brainstorming session. The merit of a brainstorming session is that without limits, we can express our views without restraint and as freely as possible. And that would be a very good opportunity to exchange ideas. And I believe on that basis we can move forward with the broadest possible consensus. So that's point number one. Secondly, in our discussion, well, for the discussion of the session, I hope the chairman can take it up with the Secretary for Food and Health, because I believe this straddles more than just one bureau. If it's just the FHB, then our way forward is really very limited, very constrained. Under the Food and Health Bureau, hawkers are just the target of a regulatory system. They just want to manage the hawkers to make sure that they do not give rise to adverse hygiene, and they do not look at the hawkers as someone who runs small businesses or from the perspective of people's livelihood. So if in our discussion we only involve the Food and Health Bureau, it will be inadequate. Therefore, I would like to ask Chairman to take it up with other bureaus, Commerce and Economic Development Bureau, Home Affairs Bureau, among others, and ask them to send representatives to attend our brainstorming sessions. I don't mean the secretaries themselves should attend, but they should send representatives. The point is that we should not look at this from a regulatory point of view. We should also look at hawkers as an issue of people's livelihood, and as an opportunity for promoting small businesses. So we need to invite more bureaus to send representatives to attend. And thirdly, I'd like to thank the Secretariat for the compiling the information of the hawker policies as practiced in other countries. But one thing is lacking in my view, and that is the experience on the mainland of China and how they regulate hawking there. And we know that in the past 30 years, the economic opening up and reform started with allowing the individual to run businesses. And now there's a market economy on the mainland. If you look at our neighbors, Shenzhen, Zhuhai, and Guangzhou, they have a wealth of experience in hawking policy for the past 30 years, and I believe we can learn something from them. That would broaden our horizons if we also cover mainland. And also for the future, we should have a public hearing, and we should invite the trade, the hawkers, and residents' organizations or concerned groups or interest groups to come to air their views. We're talking about small businesses, and that's why the commercial element is important. Thank you. Mention has been made about some mainland cities and the hawkers. On the 9th of October, I sent a member a document, and we did mention in that paper some information on mainland policy. If you think that's not sufficient, we can ask the administration to supplement. And as for inviting other bureaus to attend, well, the Food and Health Bureau would like to listen to us first. And if Mr. Wong wants more bureau to be involved, I can ask Dr. Koh to coordinate the exercise. It would be better to have representatives from other bureaus in our brainstorming session. I think it's going to be beneficial if other bureaus are represented.
For the secretary, maybe they would focus on issues such as hygiene and contagious diseases. But when we talk about the hawking business, we are talking about a lot of members of the public, families, and they are an important part of the local economy. And with the modernization of our society, as a modern city, Hong Kong should learn to coexist with its hawkers, and we have to manage a lot of issues such as street management, and we have to involve the Home Affairs Bureau, and actually the brainstorming sessions should involve district councils as well. And as I've mentioned before, we have to we should allow the district councils to decide how hawkers should survive, and they should be the ones who are doing the coordination. So if we only invite the Secretary for Food and Health, then maybe the scope will be too narrow. We should also involve the Commissioner for Tourism. Yes, we have already invited the Deputy Commissioner for Tourism. And when we look at countries like Singapore and Taiwan, we have actually visited 2 cities, and we can see that the night markets in Taiwan are a big hit with tourists, and they are very crowded, and there isn't a lot of variety. But still, we can see that other cities are more friendly to their hawkers, and they have turned hawkers into a positive part of their tourism scene. But whereas for us, for Hong Kong, we are driving the hawkers away, and we are driving them to indoor markets, and as such, they cannot survive on the streets. So this is very, what we're doing is really opposite to other countries. So I do think the brainstorming session is necessary, but I'm just not sure why it must be held behind closed doors. Why does this brainstorming session have to be held closed doors? Why can't we have an open brainstorming session? Do you mean that it should be broadcasted? It should be on camera? Well, we just want to have a better interaction among members, and we can say whatever we want. So well, even if we have an open meeting, it can still be very interactive. Well, we have a certain time frame for speaking usually, but it wasn't the case before in district councils. And in the past, we had meetings of 2 hours each, and we could have a lot of interactions and in-depth discussions. But I understand that we have more members and delegates now, so we cannot speak for a long, long time. Well, I'm sure our brainstorming session will last more than 2 hours. if this session can be broadcasted live on the web, it will be a good thing, because we can allow the public to see what the LegCo is doing, and we can allow the public to see the interaction and a positive atmosphere for discussion. And during the EAP meeting, we talked about light pollution. We had a working group on light pollution, and we didn't set any time restrictions, and we allow as many questions as members desire. So I don't think whether the session will be open or behind closed doors won't be a problem. Yes, your opinion is well noted. Mr. Ray Chen, I agree that we should have this brainstorming session as soon as possible. We all want to do something as a member of this group. We don't want to just talk and not do anything concrete. But I do not agree that the first session should be spearheaded by the Food and Health Bureau and subsequently involve other departments. Well, we have mentioned which departments or bureaus are involved. Of course, we have to involve the CEDB, the Home Affairs Bureau, and Food and Health Bureau. But if the FHB leads the session, it's simply not right. We should have a cross-departmental collaboration led by department heads. That would be better. Well, if Dr. Koh comes here, I'm sure he will talk about other things. But if we are to have a brainstorming session, the bureaus and departments should not only look at their own scope of work. And if this session is led by one specific bureau, then we would have problems. And the representatives from the government should be of similar ranks. And I don't think one specific official should be responsible for the entire issue, because it would be very hard. I'd like to know which government officials were originally invited for the brainstorming session in October. And we should involve departments to send representatives which are of a similar rank. Mr. Chen, we have indeed thought about your recommendations, but we have worked with the secretariats already to invite specific government officials, and if the brainstorming session goes ahead, Dr. Koh will be here, and the permanent secretary will also be here, as well as representatives from the FHB and from CEDB. The Deputy Commissioner for Tourism will also be here. And for other departments, perhaps they will also send reps. So we have heard your comments, and we will invite someone from the CEDB as well. Apart from the Home Affairs Bureau, will anyone else be here? Yes, we will go ahead. If we only invite Dr. Koh or his bureau, then well, their job is to exterminate all the hawkers instead of thinking about their role in a modern society. Yes, I understand. During the first meeting, we raised a similar question. And when myself and Mr. Alan Leung met Dr. Koh, he said he wouldn't be restricted by the by the scope of work of his bureau, and he will look at it from a holistic manner. So I think the brainstorming can facilitate better discussions. Mr. Wong Ko-hing. Chairman, the CDB, if the CDB only sends the Deputy Commissioner for Tourism, it's not enough. For small businesses, well, these small businesses are only a small part of Hong Kong's business scene. So I think the CDB should send more representatives and not just officials in charge of tourism. They should send more people. Yes, I've heard all your comments. We have to strike a balance because if we invite government officials, it's not so easy to coordinate. But I've heard all your views, and I will invite different bureaus to send reps to the session. Well, I've just received a statement on hawker policy and also a schedule. And if you will be available for specific time slots, please let us know. And after the meeting, the Secretariat will work with Dr. Ko, and I will see which is the best time for the next meeting for the session. So everyone agrees that we should have a brainstorming session, right? Can we have an open meeting? Or I will do more consultation. I will consult other members. I think everything should be open and transparent. There's no need to hold the session behind closed doors. I will further discuss with the Vice Chairman. Any other business? If not, that's all for the meeting today. Thank you very much.